Alright, I'm just gonna let everybody know that sometimes you get overwhelmed, you feel overwhelmed. So I've got I'm having to work kind of two jobs here to sell some of my stuff I'm working on. This is a KA24E motor out of a 97 Nissan pickup. It is going to go into my Pathfinder. This is my Pathfinder right here. It is air ride. It's bagged and bodied. And I'm going to probably remove this hatch. And weird, it sounded funny when I rolled it. It's not sounding funny now though. Must have had dirt dauber's nest or something in there. Alright, so I've got to air this up and get it moved around to the front of the shop and pull it in there. I'm going to pull the body off, finish the frame, paint it, and put the body back on, get this hatch put on it, because this one needs a crap ton of welding to finish it out. Door jambs on everything. This was a neat idea, but I don't have time to finish it. So I'll just finish bag and body and put it in paint, get that motor in, get it running and driving really good. Probably keep door handles in it and just try to sell it. So it's really cold out here. It's warmer than it was, about 27 degrees. This is my daughter's truck. I have to pull this motor back out. It's been rattling. I've been fighting this motor off and on. I'll work on it and then I'll quit for 6 or 8 months and I'll work on it. But it's making a terrible rattling racket. I put an exhaust manifold. It was broke. I put a new oil pump. Nothing fixed it. I thought, well, maybe the cam lobe was messed up. Put a different cam in. Of course, the timing chain. That was one of the first things that I did. And I thought maybe the, I'll show you here, on this motor, same motor, I thought maybe the lifter assembly wasn't correct. So I changed out all the lifters and thought maybe it was a piece of trash plugging that. That did not fix it. Nothing I did to this motor fixed it. So at that point I decided maybe it was inside the transmission, the flex plate, or I'm out of breath, or maybe the torque converter. So I pulled it apart. The flex plate looked fine. I put in a new torque converter and this motor sounds perfect. Sounds brand new. So I went to put it in drive and it will not pull. So obviously I have damaged the pump inside the transmission. I don't have time to work on all this stuff, so this motor and transmission is going to come out and I'll stick it over here and I'll get to it. I've got a Corvette I've got to work on. I've got to get it in here. It doesn't run, so I've got to figure out how to winch it up in here. And I'll work on it. This is supposed to be my clean area, just for clean storage and keep my baby nice and safe. But ended up doing motor work, so I'm just running out of room. Anyway, so I've moved. This is another project I'm working on for someone. I gotta build this truck. It's a 79 Chevy truck, 4-wheel drive. I gotta build it from ground up, and he wants it brand new, basically brand new truck. So a lot of work. I'm waiting on parts. I don't have bolts, bushings. I don't have a lot of things, so I pushed it to the side. I'm waiting on a delivery for parts. I'm gonna pull the Pathfinder right here and I'm going to get the body off and then work on that frame. And I've got to have the Pathfinder done by May. I've got a guy wanting to buy it, so hopefully in May I'll have it completely done, frame done, riding smooth, motor in, running good. Do a 5-speed swap on it, and 4-cylinder swap as well, and fix all the body and paint, and then put all new interior in it and an audio system. I'm just going to run 112 with the amp, a smaller amp, 5-channel amp. These are some projects I'm working on. It is December 28th, 29th today. So anyway, and then so I'm trying to shuffle these projects around. And today I've got to get this motor out and push to the side, get this truck out, get the Corvette in, and move my Pathfinder around to here. A lot of pulling. It's going to take a while. None of this stuff runs. I'm going to be just pulling it around with different vehicles. I've got a winch right here. I asked my mom for that for Christmas, and she got it for me. So I'm going to maybe mount that over here on the concrete, or maybe on this side. What I'm thinking is mount that winch on the floor on a swivel and drill a hole right here in my wall and mount it right here on a plate on the floor where I can pull. I may have to come out a little bit further. I need to be able to pull through that door, pull things in, and then if it was on a swivel, I could swivel that dude, cut a hole in the wall, and run my cable through the wall, and then pull through this other door right there, and pull that dude right up in here, and not have to push, because I'm doing all this by myself. So life is a struggle. You just got to keep on pushing, and you can do it. I'm just a guy doing stuff, and I got a little bit of motivation, so I got my little heater. This window unit right here has been a lifesaver. It kept my shop 46 degrees. We had a spell of -1 the other night, and it stayed 46 degrees in here. I had that going, and I had this 5-burner going, but it wasn't kicking on very often. It would kick on and off. And then I had this oil-filled heater going inside my bathroom. And here's my little bathroom. That table's probably gonna go. This sink, I'm tempted to move it over here and then build a shelf right here. I'm not sure, but I don't have time to do any of that. And temporarily I've just got this. This is a dehumidifier, and I just got it. I'm trying to pull some moisture out of here. That window unit took a dump on me, and it's a heat pump as well. But that was the plan, is just to run 2 heat pumps, and it would have worked. But that one crapped out, and I can't get it fixed. Nobody wants to fix it, and I don't know what's wrong with it. I can't do that stuff. Circuit boards, and they've coated it with something. I don't know. I'm throw it away, I guess. It's brand new, but whatever. I don't have a warranty on it. So anyway, so that's today's project. Just try to move that stuff around, and I'm not very good at this YouTube stuff or whatever, these video editing things. So we'll see what I've got at the end of this video. All right. Here's that truck running. You can hear that breathing because I've got the breather top lid off. But it's so quiet, it sounds so good. And figured I would check this one last time just to make sure there wasn't some kind of air pocket. I think it is broke. Alright. Anyway, I'll get this lined out eventually. good old pulling across the yard of the Pathfinder here. Kind of redneck. Ain't nobody back there. So if it gets going, it could easily ram my truck. Here we go. It's gonna take out my fence. I gotta go. Alright guys, it's 9:11 in the morning because I see 9:11 all the time, and I can't raise my garage door up yet because it will not shut. This has messed up on me. The wires broke off and I'm not really sure which wire needs to be hooked back up. So I'm gonna get my little stool here and I'm gonna crawl up here and I'm gonna look at that and figure it out. But I have the Pathfinder out here and I'm fixing to pull it up in here best I can. We'll get there in a minute. Good stuff right here. Oh, and yeah, got me a massive leak. It's supposed to warm up a little bit today, and I had this already, so I'm gonna see if while my door's up I can put that seal, replace that, and just add that to my list of things to do today. I don't know, mouse or just terrible wind can come in through there. It's bitter cold, so middle of winter here. And all right, I'll hit you back up in a minute. I have ADHD, so I got distracted. I remembered that on my golf cart right here, one of my speakers had blown out on the back. So I've got these. I'm not going to wire in the lights right now. I'm going to wait on those. But while I've got the golf cart in here, I figured I would go ahead and wire those up. Swap those out and wire them up. And main reason I got it in here was I used this to pull the Pathfinder up to the door, and I actually bent my bar, so I had to remove my step and bend my bar back. At some point I'm going to take this all the way up to here with a smaller tube and have a receiver under here where I can pin it back here and right here, and then really pull without damaging the cart. So eventually I'll get there, but for right now I'm just going to throw these speakers in and get all that wrapped up and then get the Pathfinder in. I've got it up to the door. It's almost touching the door. So I can get the cart back out right here and shove the Pathfinder in, and then get to work on pulling that motor out and getting the Corvette back there. And that'll be my day. So, alright, I'm going to try to get this done. Alright, I've got the Pathfinder in the shop. It is 2 o'clock. I'm not making very good progress on time today. I've got all of the top of this disassembled. I've got to crawl under and unhook the drive shaft and all the transmission brackets, mounts and things. But I wanted to show you this. This is a 97 Nissan hard body pickup truck. So what I've done is I put on here this line I've got labeled go to the fuel pressure regulator, and you can follow the line and see. And I've put my clamps on the hoses right there, the hard lines, so I won't lose those. These will stay with the truck here. And then there's a bunch of vacuum lines that you've got to unhook. It would be super easy to get these crossed. So that will go under the throttle positioning sensor right there at the tip of my finger. And then these I have labeled. So there's one underneath these three, and I just labeled it under. It's down here. And then 1, 2, and 3 is what I labeled those. That way I don't get those confused. Just a little kind of self-explanatory, but maybe to help somebody that's trying to do this on their own, not used to it, or I've done several of these. This is actually what I pulled this motor out like 2 weeks ago. Now I'm pulling it out again, so transmission issue, so whatever. But yeah, so I've already got the motor mounts. You can't see it, it's dark, but this one's easy to get to. You just take this bracket off, and what I do is I take my air conditioning compressor off of the motor. That way I don't have to discharge it. So it'll just kind of hang here. It'll just hang out with the truck. I don't have to disassemble these lines and lose all my Freon, whatever they want to call it nowadays. And anyway, so let's see any other tricks. This motor mount on this side is a booger to get to. You really can't see it. You can kind of see it if you look down this direction. So what I did is I used a ratcheting 14mm long one to get it fairly loose, and then I used a ratcheting stubby to finish it off and get it out. There they are. And these are the factory clamps. I just disassembled the whole clamp, make it easier. I'm gonna set them right here in my battery tray, and that's what the factory clamp assembled looks like. It's kind of weird, but I try to reuse those just for cost issues. They're as good as anything, really. And then that is bolted underneath the intake. It's kind of hard to get to. All these bolts kind of hard to get to. And then 96 and 97 has a sensor on top. It's a shiny spot. Right, I don't know, you're not gonna be able to see it, it's not gonna zoom in, but right there on top. And I've pulled this whole harness out. That is what goes on there. And this is a cover. It's a 10mm nut that covers over this sensor. Anyway, so you gotta pull that off. Make sure everything is unhooked before you try to jerk a motor out, because all you're basically doing is testing the tensile strength of your wire or whatever's still connected, and you will break it. So now the fun part is going underneath, unhook the drive shaft, and take off all of the braces underneath the transmission with a jack, and let it down slowly, and then hook this up with a chain and hoist it out with this. It's a little cherry picker, so it's kind of trashy. Throw that away. Alright, so the plan is still to get this out and get the Corvette sitting in here today, but it's already 2, so I'm gonna have to get busy. I got the motor and transmission out, and I scrubbed my floor up just a little bit. Still got some oil, and I'm working on getting this Corvette out. So we're getting there, and it is, I don't know, 4 o'clock, something like that. So we're getting there. All I gotta do is figure out how to get that over that hump right there and in here, and then put my car hauler away. It's been a hectic day. I've got a motor to build. I'll get it all done. Alright, so here's my little winch. It should pull about anything on level ground up into the shop. Especially a little Corvette. Up over that little hump, it ought to do it. The Corvette does have enough ground clearance, it appears. So I have marked my holes to mount this. My winch doesn't have 3/8 holes, so I'll have to drill that out. They just won't fit through. But I have 3/8 lag bolts, so that's what I'm gonna run. And getting really crowded in here, so I'm gonna have to finish up some of these projects before I do much else. All right, I'm gonna get to work here. I got the car in the shop. And I got my trailer put away. It's about 5 o'clock. I've been going since 7. Got out here about 7. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day, I think. Gotta figure out what's wrong with this car. Maybe start on it tomorrow. Alright, that is just a day, normal day, standard day in my shop. I don't know about everybody else's shop, but that's what I go through on a daily basis. Everything basically just kicks my butt and I just work through it. If this inspires anybody, then I maybe have helped somebody. Alright, so y'all have a good day.